this video I wanted to talk to you guys about using a vehicle as cover, and there's some things that I feel that people are not understanding. This is not a video about technique, so I apologize for that, but I think it could be somewhat educational, or at least you know, a light bulb ticker. But anyways, I think that some people are forgetting the idea of using a vehicle as a go-between between you and an armed threat is on the same level as having to do an emergency reload or even using a firearm to begin with. It's because you have to, and not because you want to. Because there's a lot of people who are like, I'm going to learn to fight around a vehicle because, you know, there's cars all over the place, and I'll know how to do it, and I'll be able to pick a vehicle that'll be good cover. That's the stupidest idea I have ever heard, and I have heard people say shit like that. So, let's go ahead and go through some facts. Vehicles are basically glorified concealment. They don't stop much. And here's the thing. What is cover? Cover is the ability to maintain or basically withstand small arms fire. And we're not preparing for someone shooting one round at a time. We have to prepare. We have to consider something cover that can endure a magazine. And I know some people are thinking, well, there's some armored areas on here, like the engine block or this part right here, or even along this frame or whatever. Yes, that small little area. Are you going to treat this like an off-body SAPI plate? I don't think so. It's just an area that'll happen to stop the bullets. But how often do you think they're going to shoot at this if you're trying to hide behind it? And how well are you going to hide behind that? Probably not. So really, the best thing that you're going to learn about fighting around a vehicle is to end the fight as fast as you can. And so basically that has to do with a lot of maneuvering and situational awareness. And this is where the main point of this video is. It is not about, you know, learning how to direct those bullets, get them to try to shoot through the vehicle at you at an area where it's not going to hit you. It's about situational awareness and being able to maneuver and focus on what's important, the threat. Because this thing would be, it's basically, in some people's eyes, since it's a go-between, it's basically an armor plate, an off-body armor plate that you'll do a merry-go-round with a maneuvering enemy on. So, cops have done it, and it didn't really always have good effects. They have been hit, the bullets go through vehicles, they do get hit. North Hollywood shootout's a good example, and, you know, stuff like that. There's plenty of shootings that have happened with vehicles, and the officers will, you know, take hits if they're hugging it and treating it like it's an off-body armor plate, whereas, you know, instead, these are more bullet sponges. So, you know, they're a big thing. They know you're hiding somewhere behind here, so why not just rig the whole damn thing? And that's what often happens. So, realistically, what would you do if you know there was somewhere under there? Probably just go underneath and shoot at your feet, because all you have to do is shoot at the ground and it'll follow the course of the ground, except for dirt, which my vehicle's in dirt right now, so, you know, whatever. But if you understand firearms and you're actually trained and you're going against someone else who's trained, you're pretty much screwed working with vehicles anyways. So with that said, the one thing that I think people fail at, and before they even get to learning about using a vehicle and dealing with having this between you and a threat, it's just the fact that it's between you and the threat. It's not the fact that, oh, fighting around a vehicle because vehicle equals armor. No. But anyways, what they fail to understand is that situational awareness is the biggest thing, and your brain relies on eyesight mostly to process information and be able to develop a course of action and then act on it. OODA loop, basically. So if you're taking your eyes off the threat in order to conduct a reload, then you're putting yourself behind the power curve. You're devoting attention to something that does not need your attention. Because some people are like, well, it's faster. How fast? Is it fast enough to justify taking a second or two off that threat? Hell no. Because you know how long a second or two is on for a maneuvering threat to maneuver on you? If you guys want evidence of this, read more. watch more of these traffic stop videos where people are actually getting out of their vehicle and maneuvering on an officer that's hiding behind the vehicle. It does not take long, and if your head is in your gun rather than, you know, on the threat, you're going to get outmaneuvered, and it doesn't take long for it to happen. So if you kept your eyes on the threat while you were reloading, and say I was basically out of ammo here, and, you know, I ejected the magazine, saw, okay, I'm out, and I ejected the magazine, and then right about here the threat showed up and they're maneuvering and pointing the gun at me. You know how long it would take me to basically insert the magazine, charge it, and then see what's going on and assess? I would already have rounds in me if they were able to hit their target. And that's not a position you want to be in. Now some people say, well, retreat behind cover. Well, if you haven't lost that position, like you're not taking accurate incoming fire, if you're not taking fire, then why would you give up the position? Just keep your ground, keep your eyes on the threat, and just go through your procedure. It's a lot faster if you just go through your procedure and keep your eyes on the threat than if you take your eyes off the threat to do that, because this little bit of time right here is enough for you to get ventilated. I guarantee it. So stop staring at your gun, and yeah, learn what it's like, and learn, you know, what kind of shitstorm you're going to be in if you have to use this as a go-between between you and an armed threat. There's nothing wrong with that, but let's just let's be realistic about this. And number one, situational awareness is going to be key. And number two, realizing that all you're basically doing is trying to delay the threat's ability to get eyes on you. And that's with constant maneuvering and most likely standoff. Not really that this is a techniques video, but anyways, that's my 2 cents on the idea of using a vehicle as cover. So anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and leave a comment below. I thank you for sitting through this and enduring this. I know it was hard. It's almost like the chalkboard of death, but with a vehicle behind me. Hey, kids. Hey, you ready to go? We're about to leave, so I thought it was an appropriate subject to talk about since, you know, we're going to be getting in this vehicle and going for a little bit of a drive. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching, and you guys have a good one.